On this episode of the O2 Garage, I'm going to show you how to sell a car like this Terios on Facebook and Gumtree in a very hassle, easy-free way with a few tips on negotiation to get you the best price in the shortest possible time frame. Well, the time has come. Ruby's Terios is going to be sold so we can get on with the next project. We've changed the motor, we got it all sorted out, cleaned it, scrubbed it. It drives really good. I don't really want to sell it. It's a really cool second car. It's like a little four-wheel drive, you bomb around in it, but it is purple. And people laugh at me. No, seriously, they laugh at me. Ruby's 13, and so what we're going to do is we're going to sell this, get the money, flip it out and look for another project. But before we do that, I'm going to show you guys the wild world of selling online, and trust me, it is an absolute minefield. But as a negotiator, I'm going to give you a couple of tips and tricks and some scripts and some dialogues on how to get the best price in the easiest possible time frame. Let the negotiations begin. Okay, so the first thing you do when you sell a car is you have to make it look as clean as you possibly can. And that's very simple. Wash it, wipe it over it, vacuum it, clean the windows and black the tires. Now you heard me say clean the windows. Tip number one, make sure the windows are as clean as you possibly can, inside and out. The reason being is when someone comes to test drive your car, what they'll do is they'll hop inside the car and they'll see how good the world looks through clean windows. Remember, their car probably doesn't have his windows as clean as yours, and automatically they'll realize that they need to have this car because it gives them a better view of the world. Now, does that sound weird? Does that sound over the top? No. It's been an old used car trick for many, many years, and it's why your test car at a new car dealership is normally kept inside so the windows are clean. So, rule number one, make sure your car's clean and make sure the windows are clean. Okay, rule number two, tip number two, whatever you want to call it, is do your research on the car you're going to be selling. Now, this research is very easy to do. What you do is you have a look on all the places that you're going to sell your car for exactly the same car as what you're selling. Have a look at the condition, the kilometers, the paint, and the price. Make sure you're seeing what the other cars are going for and selling for. Now, when they sell, they come off the internet, you won't know if they've sold or not, but you get a bit of an idea of what people are asking. Now, the Daihatsu is an interesting one. There's not many Terioses for sale. There's one for $4,000, there's one for $3,000, there's one for $299, there's one for $1,900, and there's one for $1,300. So, how much do you think we put on this car to sell it? Guessing time's up. We put $1,250. Now, the reason I did that was because we want to sell this car. So top tip number three, after you've worked out what the car's worth, work out what it's worth to you. Work out if you want to sell the car or keep the car. So if we overprice this car a couple of $100, no one's going to look at the car. So we undercut the other cars that are on the market by a couple of $100, and my phone has absolutely lit up. 16 inquiries within half an hour, 6 on emails, everybody wants to buy it, and I've got a guy coming in about 45 minutes time to buy it, full price, $1,250, no negotiations. So here's the big tip. How do you negotiate the best price? Well, there's the funny thing, is not all cars are negotiable. And you don't have to negotiate. If your price is right and it's a little bit below market value, people will pay without negotiating. So it saves you those uncomfortable conversations where you're fighting and haggling over $50 and $100. What we've done with this car is we've priced it below market value. And by doing that, we've got people who are coming in and who are interested. Now, What that allows me to do is focus on getting the buyers in at a certain time. Now, if they come to me at a certain time and there's enough competition, well, competition breeds success. So if I have more than one person wanting the car, as long as I line them up with appointments, they'll come to me with all the money. You see what I'm doing there? I'm not negotiating on price. They're making sure they're at the front of the queue with the most amount of money to get the car. Here's another trick. You don't want everybody knowing your home address. I don't want everybody just coming to this house even after we've sold the car. So what I do is I make them message me on the road down the end of the street. When they're down there and they message me, I know they're serious about the car. I'll then tell them the address, they'll come here, they'll look at it, and they'll either buy it or they won't. It should take you no more than about 10-15 minutes of looking at a car, maybe with a test drive, about 10-15 minutes. Outside of that, they should be gone. So that gives you a bit of an idea of how you negotiate the best price. Price it below the market value, knowing you want to sell the car. Get everybody to come in with lots of competition. And when they get here, they'll give you the full price and you won't have to negotiate. Okay, so I've nearly got my first buyer about to rock up here at the car. Just a quick recap. Make sure the car's well presented. Make sure you've done your research. Make sure you work out what you want for the car and whether you're going to sell it or whether you're going to keep it, and you price it just a bit below market value. When you start getting the inquiries, make sure you push all the buyers to the first appointment and then rack them up accordingly. I normally book in 2 people to come and buy the car, and then I call everybody after that. Don't negotiate on price. If $1,250 is what you want for a little 4-wheel drive like that, then make sure you get $1,250. And if someone says, oh, well, I'll give you $1,100, I'll give you $1,150, just remember, you've got 5 or 10 other people who want to pay the price. So hold your ground and say no. All right. My final tip to you would be is have your paperwork ready to go. Get all your paperwork ready to go. Get a receipt written up without their name on it so you can make the transaction quick and easy and gone. And the final thing, in this age of cashless society, people are going to want to do bank transfers and things like that. And you can do that. That's no problems at all. Cash is always king. And I reckon when you're under about 3 or 4 grand, you should be still getting cash. Cash, it talks a little bit better, and then you don't have to wait for a deposit and transfer and come back and pick it up the next day and I've changed my mind and oh, it's not the right color, all that stuff. But you can work that out. So there you go, guys. In the next video I show you, coming up in a minute, in a second, hopefully I'll have it sold. I'll tell you how much I've got. Don't go anywhere. And just like that, the Daihatsu's gone. Ka-ching! Cash is in the pocket. So all I did was have 2 people come and have a look at it. First person that came and had a look at it, car was too rough for them. Well, they were never going to buy it. They were trying to get a bargain. They offered me $800 and I said, thanks very much. 4:30 rocked around and a guy who was pretty serious drove from the other side of town, and he's actually going to cut the back of them off and turn it into a Daihatsu off-road ute. Looks like this. Pretty cool, aren't they? When they turn them into trucks like that, they are very good off-road. A lot of farmers get hold of them, and I tell you what, they're worth a bit of money as well. He knew exactly what he wanted, this second buyer. He forked the cash over, drove it off, and he's now heading to the other side of Adelaide. So good luck to him, which means that closes the door of that project, and we're now on to another project car that's been sitting around for a while. You remember the black Mitsubishi Mirage. Tom wants to get it up and running. We think we're all organised, so we need to get that one done.